What's up, everybody? How's it going today? Tuesday. Hope you guys are having a good day. Hope you guys are enjoying your Tuesday. Hope you guys are taking some time off from all the craziness and enjoying the sunshine because it's out there. Well, it's not out here. It's raining actually right now. But touching grass is important, guys. Gotta touch grass. Today we're gonna watch probably a couple videos that don't have Donald Trump in them because everybody needs a day or two or six without Donald Trump in their life. It's very important. Very important. So we're going to watch, we've got a Hasanabi video where he talks about getting detained. I don't know much about that, but I know that Silent Siren, I think, is the one who told me about it yesterday. So we're going to watch that. And, of course, we have Professor Dave talking about the fact that Candace Owens believes that, yes, space is not only fake, but also gay. Fake and gay. So we're going to watch that. And, yeah, we're going to have a little bit of a different kind of night. Because, like I said, I can't do this politics shit 24/7. I mean, the Hasanabi's video is obviously political, but I don't know how you guys do it. It is not the life for me to watch nothing but politics 24/7 and Donald Trump 24/7. I just can't do it. This shit's exhausting. I was watching World War II videos today while fucking doing paperwork. Well, I guess watching. I was listening to World War II videos today while doing paperwork. And I thought to myself, man, I like doing this so much more than politics. I gotta just like start a Substack or something and just write. That's what I'm gonna start doing after this shit's all over. I understand. I'm supposed to be here. I'm supposed to be putting in work. I'm doing that, but in the long term, there's got to be something more interesting than this bullshit. This shit's just crazy. All right, let's talk about who's in chat. Let's see who's here. Woke Mike, you got first. Woke Mike coming through at number 1. Oh yeah. Also, hi Kay. What's up, T. Freeman? What's up, Christina? What's up, Oz? What's up, Dee Dee? What's up, Roxanne? What's up, Oz? All the people. What's up, Troy Scott? Yep, Mike beat ya. Mike beat ya. What's up, Fancy? What's going on, Fancy? Let's see. Manic. Manic is... No, space is definitely not fake. Space is actually made of your mom's fat ass. That is quite possibly true. 'Tis true. Time plus space equals your mom's fat ass. You know what I'm saying.
China. China.
That's not an echo. It's a compilation of China. It's not an echo. You guys told me that was echoing yesterday. It's not an echo. It's a compilation of China. It's Donald Trump saying China over and over and over and over and over again. It might sound like an echo, but it's just him saying that shit over and over and over again.
I love Tesla.
What's up, Dan? What's up, Drew? What's going on, guys? What's up, Queen? What's going on? All right. Let's see. So yeah, we're gonna start our video journey of the night with, I believe, with Hasanabi. Yeah, hold on.
China. And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way.
No. He's a sex offender with a record. When he moved to Hollywood, he had to go door to door to tell everyone he was a petter ass.
Petter ass, dude. 8-year-olds, dude. 8-year-olds. All right. Let's go ahead and I gotta get back over here. I've got the buttons. It's not an echo. It's not an echo. It's just him saying China over and over and over again. That's from one speech. That's how many times he said China in one speech. And like I said, that's actually not all the times he said China in one speech. That's actually just the number of times that I could put myself through editing that fucking 3-hour long Waco speech. Jesus Christ. All right. So we're going to watch the Hasanabi video. As soon as I find it. Where did I put it? Oh, there it is. Whoop, there it is. Okay, found it. Found it. I'm all that is man. Yeah, let's put... Okay, hold on. We got to put... what is it? Super Troopers. Oh, geez, I can't get around my mic. Sorry. It sounds like I am doing bad things to my mic. And yes, I am doing bad things to my mic, guys. I am. Sorry for that. I apology. We got to put Super Troopers on there. What's up, Stan? What's going on, Stan? We are going to... We got Janelle. Hi, Janelle. We're gonna definitely get many different soundboard as soon as I have time. This streaming every day thing kind of screws with the fact that I want to like do other stuff for the stream, so we're gonna have to probably take more days off, but we'll balance it. We'll figure it out, because like I said, I come home from work and come straight onto stream, and then I stream, and then by the time that's all over, I've been up for like 16 hours and I am dead fucking tired. And so I don't have a lot of extra time for other stuff. So we're going to have to figure out some way to make this work where I can get some soundboard stuff going. Going to take a night off just for soundboard. I think it's a candy necklace. I don't watch a ton of Hasanabi, guys. I'm going to admit to you guys, if you're Hasanabi fans, I'm going to break your heart. I don't watch many other streamers, period. I watch, like, on occasion, I will watch a Hasanabi video. On occasion, I will watch a Destiny video. On occasion, I will watch... I'll watch, like, Boston Brian. I watch the 21st Century Suffragettes. I watch Straight Facts No Chaser. I don't know, I've said it before. I like supporting the smaller streamers. So, I like to watch those guys. Sons of Liberty. I like to watch My Dude. I like My Dude. So I don't watch a lot of these big guys. I don't watch a ton of Hasanabi or Destiny or Vosh. When I first started watching political content, watching debates, I watched a lot of Destiny's debates. Hasanabi, not a huge debater. Master debater. But, yeah. So anyways, I thought we'd watch this because somebody... it's a candy necklace, obviously. Dan. Obviously... a candy necklace, okay? We're just going to go with that. So we're going to watch Hasanabi talk about getting detained, because I did find this to be interesting, because it's something that I'm mildly concerned about myself. don't want to leave the country or even the state, to be honest, right now, because I'm mildly concerned about, my ginger ass getting deported. There's a chance, we still need my job to pay for the house. So, I can't getting deported currently. I'm not a famous YouTuber, so I can't like stream from France like Hasanabi. All right. So until I get to that point, we're going to be staying probably within the county, probably not going to leave the county. I think if we leave the county, there's a good chance we get deported. So let's watch Hasanabi talk about getting detained by ICE.
Boy, do I have some stories to tell you. Holy moly. They're watching. Oh, the feds are watching. They're always watching. Feds are always like this. Okay. Now we know for real. I have a lot of interesting stories to tell you.
Have been fucking
Man, where do I begin? God damn. Yesterday, I did not actually broadcast for some interesting news. Once again, pre-watch Piker struck again. I remember I was joking about like what I foresaw would potentially happen as I entered the United States of America, and that thing that I foresaw happening actually ended up happening, and I'm obviously going to talk about it. For those of you who don't know, I was detained by Customs and Border.
I mean, good content, right? Mildly fucking scary, but also good content. I mean, I'm kind of surprised he didn't just bust out the phone and just live stream. I mean, wouldn't that have been fucking hilarious to watch? Like, a guy like Hasanabi bust out the phone and just start live streaming as he's getting detained? I think it'd be hilarious.
Patrol. I was tactically ascertained and engaged in a kinetic situation where I was kinetically moved into a detention center inside of the O'Hare Airport, which I will tell you all about in a second. Oh, man. Didn't pass the ocular pat down. I believe it was before the ocular pat down. It's the flight manifest that they get ahead of time. They knew who I was, and they were ready to receive me, let's just say. And it wasn't a very warm welcome. So what's happening? What's happening in Chicago? What the was that? You know, this is only my second time coming back here, and the first time I was here for the DNC got kicked out. Second time I couldn't even enter the state. Almost. Definitely an interesting experience, let me tell you. Okay, our story begins.
He's not quite hot
Paris's
enough.
Premier international airport.
That Turkish
Shot
is coming too strong.
Now, I'm somewhat of an experienced traveler, and usually as an experienced traveler, I like to get to the Charles de Gaulle airport early because I know, no disrespect to France, I love the country, but Charles de Gaulle airport is one of the worst.
Okay, this is a little too highbrow for me. Look, I've been traveling to France so often I know the airports. All right, guys? Just so you guys know, I go to France a lot. I'm always in France with the French people. They know me as Hassan. Hassan. I've never been to France, guys. Just so you guys know. Never been to France.
In Europe, it's a major hub, but unfortunately, due to, I think, like a lack of interest from the managers of any of these companies, where they just refuse to hire additional people. And I feel like in France, you just have to always hire more people because everyone is doing work very slowly. Okay, it's just the pace that you have to.
Okay, first of all, Oz saying kids don't snort. As like a 9-year-old, now I grew up in a trailer park, Oz, so this might be a different experience for most people. But as a 9-year-old, I may or may not have attempted to snort Smarties. Okay, that explains a lot, actually. Wow. Now that I think about it, I think I know what's wrong with me.
Adjust to, and therefore you have to hire more people. There's always like work stoppages and stuff like that, and the unions are relatively powerful, but the corporate overlords will literally punish travelers instead of meeting the actual demands of labor unions there. So I've been in a situation where I've been like stuck in France and stuff. Like I had to do crazy maneuvering to get out.
What is that?
So I knew that. And because I knew that, I was like, I'll go 3 hours early. It's something that I never do. Usually I'm actually very slow. But this time I was like, I'll go 3 hours early and everything will be fine. I was already worried that I was going to have issues coming into the country. I had joked about it already. So I was like, at least on the one side, like leaving the country of France will not be that big of a problem. And boy, was I wrong. Okay, boy, was I wrong. So I hit the triple Monty. I had like a generational run. There was massive traffic going in. When you actually drive into the airport, the person that's dropping you off has to get a ticket at the gate. The ticket actually didn't work. Like, so we were stuck in traffic with like other cars behind us. Like my
I'm gonna need Hasanabi to. I mean, I get it. The more time spent on camera, the more commercials, the more money. I understand the game, sir. But can we skip the traffic? I feel like I'm stuck in traffic right now.
Driver had to get out and be like, and wave people away from the gate so that we could actually get to a gate that worked, all this stuff, right? And I'm like, oh, brother, here we go. I mean,
Is this how you guys want me to do? Is this how I get famous? Should I just start telling you guys about my day? Is that how I get famous? Do I get more subscribers if I just start telling you guys, like, just talk about, like, what my drive to work was like? Spoiler alert, it's not exciting. It's mostly just a straight shot, and generally there's no traffic because I live in a smaller place. So, yeah, I guess that's probably not a winner. I guess if I don't have traffic, it's probably they're gonna be short on stories. Sorry.
I'm flying business, so like I have sky priority, so I'm thinking like, oh, at least I'll be able to get my luggage in on time. Barely made it to the check-in, okay? There was already issues with the check-in. Once I got through the check-in,
never
I got
gonna be
hit at
interesting.
every single step. There's an automatic passport processor.
As a white bald man with a beard that looks like he could possibly be MAGA, I'm gonna doubt that my stories are gonna be anywhere nearly as good as Hasanabi's. I'll just give
Where you
up.
just kind of step into this room and then boop, doors open, you walk in, right?
Boop.
I wait in line.
Boop
There's
indeed.
only one. None of the machines are working. Finally, I get to the machine that is working, and the machine stops working. It just won't take my passport. It
Okay.
won't take
All right.
my passport. I was like, oh, here we go. So I had to go to an actual officer to let me through so I could get in. Then I got stuck behind classic old lady, okay? Old lady with a
Classic.
lot of bags,
Classic.
with a lot of fluids. So then, like, she's taking her fluids out and, like, doing all this stuff at the
She's what, sir? The old lady is doing what, sir? She's doing what?
No. He's a sex offender with a record. When he moved to Hollywood, he had to go door to door to tell everyone he was a petter ass.
Dude. Okay. All right. Okay.
security gate. I'm stuck behind this person. I already took out all my electronics and stuff. But of course, lo and behold,
Don't get 'em
boom, I
near
get stopped at
fluids.
security
Bad
after this
idea.
old lady as well. The old lady with the bags of fluids, classic. She
Bags
obviously
of
was
fluids.
stopped. Okay. She had to get GSR swabbed, all the. And then, of course, I also got
old
stopped.
lady got
Had to get
swabbed?
GSR swabbed, all of this. Because
What
I have
does
electronics
swab
on me,
mean? I haven't
and
been
I
swabbed
stopped
since
there.
COVID.
Generational 3-hour run is Charles de Gaulle, and then afterwards I get into the flight, and I'm
don't
like,
church
all
it
right,
up,
finally. The flight was actually fantastic. I slept the
Joe Dirt
entire
quotes.
time.
Joe
I
Dirt
slept like a
quotes.
goddamn baby. Slept the entire time. Didn't even eat on the flight, which is crazy. There's never been a moment where I've
Joe Dirt
it was like
quotes.
an 8-hour to 9-hour flight, and I didn't even eat. I slept the entire time on the flight.
Aw.
Finally get
poor
into the
guy.
United States of America, and at which point I'm like, all right, let's do it. I got global entry. This is going to be my first ever global entry entrance. Hopefully this
Once
will go
again,
smoothly.
very sexual.
Okay, first time ever
He's
getting
talking
into
about-
global
the way
entry.
he's
I got it
talking
after
about
my
this.
brother yelled at me over and over again, telling me you got to get global entry, whatever. Right? I get to the global entry line.
I don't know what that
and they're
means.
processing everybody expeditiously. You walk up,
Sounds
boom,
fun.
immediately
Sounds
they
good.
take your photo of your face,
Solid.
and you walk in, and there's a customs
this like
person there,
music?
cop
Why is there
there, just
music?
basically waves you, okay? And they do that over and over again. It gets to me, take a photo, boom, walk in,
This is like prom
instantly.
music.
The
What is
customs
going
and border
on?
patrol agent goes, "Step aside, sir." I was like, "Here we go." All right. She goes, "Step aside, sir. An agent will come and take you to another location." I was like, "Is that proper protocol?" It's like, "Sometimes it happens." And I was like, "Okay."
need a
And I
candy
knew
necklace.
at that point, I was like,
If you guys
"Okay."
can
I'm
help me out.
texting like family.
Look, Mike,
I'm like, "This is happening."
not what
I'm
I
texting my
expected this to
manager.
be.
You know, I was basically trying to. I got
I'm gonna be honest. I thought that this was a much more like. I thought this was like breaking news. Like, I'm not used to the big streamers, guys. I don't apparently know what that life is like. I too have been stopped in France behind an old lady with a bag of fluids. I can tell you guys right now, it's a tough life. It's a tough life.
Lolo on. I was like, listen, you know, I'm going in. All right. I'm freaking
That's
going
what
in.
she said.
Who knows how long this will take? Who knows what will happen? I had already heard like horror stories from people. There was like that one girl on TikTok that had talked about this.
Oh, no, not
and
the
I
one
thought
girl
to
on
myself,
TikTok.
all right, it's done.
Not that
it's
one
happening
girl
to
on
me as well.
TikTok.
It is what it is. You know, am is real high. I'm about to say am is real high multiple times to get these guys off my back.
What does
so
that mean?
I'm waiting in the corner. This
Sounds
Latina
racist.
ICE agent comes up, picks me up, takes me to this detention center. I sit down, fluorescent light bulbs, the whole nine.
butt?
Okay, they have been.
Like all 9? Or like just 6 of it? I mean, it's a pretty important detail. Was it all 9 or just 6 of the 9? I mean, Donald Trump does know. Hey, here we
And then I
go.
said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do, either through the skin or in some other way.
It's a good question. Was it all 9 or just 6 of it?
benches in the back of O'Hare Airport where there's like a detention area. Okay, there's a detention area. I'm sitting there. There's like a bunch of terrified families. Okay,
it doesn't get
there's
any
an
more
old
exciting.
lady in a wheelchair. There's like a mom and daughter behind me. There's some like random dude in front of me, and the way it works
Poor
is
TSA
there's a back door.
Yeah, it sounds like the TSA's the one that had a really hard time with this. This doesn't sound like he was inconvenienced so much as it sounds like the people that were doing their job don't sound like they're having a great time trying to get the UV in the body, you know? It's
And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or
some
in some other way.
You know? It seems like their job sucked that day.
Right? And they
I'm waiting for this to get good.
take your passport, they go to the back door, you don't know what the hell's going on in there, but they sometimes come out and they just say someone's name with their passport in their hands and they go, you're clear to leave. Basically, when they bring you to the detention area, they, I guess, do some kind of surveillance on your background to figure out.
Surveillance on your background. At this point, he's doing this on purpose, right? It's all innuendo, right? It's all innuendo.
If you are going to get harassed even further or if this level of harassment is fine. Okay. And I asked.
Okay, first of all, I asked HR and HR said no level of harassment is fine. That's straight from the top, boys. I can tell you this right now. Went to HR. HR said no harassment is fine.
And I looked around at all the passports that people had to see if there were other American citizens. And lo and behold, at least in the area that I was at, I was the only American citizen. There was another guy that actually had an American passport as well. Because I asked the terrified family behind me, I was like, hey guys, if you don't mind me asking, like, do you guys have an American passport? They were like, no. So it turns out it's just they're terrifying the shit out of mostly non-American citizens. Okay. But apparently they're also interested in trying to terrify American citizens as well. So they're just like coming in and out. They get this lady in a wheelchair out of there, which I thought was so insane. Old lady in a wheelchair is in the ICE detention.
Hold on. Did she have any bags of fluids, though? That's the most important question. Did she have any bags of fluid?
Detention area. And they come out with their passport and they're like, here, you can leave. Okay. So that's one thing, right? Like, I've had secondary searches and stuff done to me before. I've had the
a three-way with the TSA?
I think it's called the quadruple S. Like, they put the SSSS on your boarding pass, and you always get checked randomly when you get hit with that. Like, that's happened to me a lot in the past. I get GSR swabbed all the time. That stuff is normal. I've experienced that quite a bit, okay? But this time, I didn't even have the quadruple S on my boarding pass, so I was like, all right, it's probably fine. So I wait. Finally, this agent comes out. Says, Hassan Piker. I'm like, that's me. Coming with me. I'm like, oh, brother, here we go. They take me to this back room, okay? And the back room is not great. The back room is designed in the most hostile way I've ever been inside of a room. The vibes are really back there. Everything is fluorescent light bulb, obviously. They had these two seats that were firm.
You know you're a YouTuber and you've got 1 million subscribers when you're describing the TSA taking you in to interrogate you and you're like, the vibes were really off, bro. Like, I mean, the lighting was kind of weird. The vibes were really off, bro. Oh. Is Hasanabi a good dude? I don't know enough about Hasanabi. Is he? I mean, he seems like he's an okay dude. He does have a candy necklace on, so that's kind of weird to me. It begs some questions, and his continued use of innuendo, regardless of the vibes in the room. Also, well, actually, no, I'm down with that. I like that. That's a plus in my book.
Firmly planted into the ground, okay? They were complete metal. They were like tiny stools, like very uncomfortable, with like braces on the side so you can handcuff someone to them, okay? And there was also a seat for like a lawyer. So I sat down on the lawyer seat on the corner to establish dominance because I've watched too many JCS interrogation videos.
Wait, what? Hold on, we gotta go back. What was that? I need to know this in case I get pulled. I need to know how to establish dominance.
Also a seat for like a lawyer. So I sat down on the lawyer seat on the corner to establish dominance because I've watched too many JCS interrogation
Very
videos,
important to know,
and I knew I had
think.
to have command over the room. So
Okay.
I didn't sit
I'll
in
remember
the
that.
in the cuck chair. Instead, I sat in the
There's
lawyer
a cup chair? Like, do they like literally have sex with your wife right in front of you? Like the TSA agents or the ICE agents? This is going to be pretty important, guys. This is important to know.
And we got to
The
talking.
vibes were definitely
and
off.
let me tell you, folks, the TikTokers that talked about being detained, they were right. It was an insane situation. So it's very
TikTokers
obvious
were
that they knew
right.
exactly who the I was. It's very obvious that they knew how to like navigate the conversation,
TSA.
and it was a really, really interesting conversation that took place. It was very cordial. Okay, it was very cordial.
Okay, well, now this doesn't sound like a bad time to me. It was an interesting conversation, and it was a cordial conversation. This sounds like a good time. I mean, I like to talk. No matter how the vibes are. No matter what the lighting's like. If it's a cordial conversation and it's interesting, I'm there, brother. Let's do it. I'm going to give him part of my candy necklace.
Which I thought it was strange how cordial it was, because I've had run-ins with like cops in the past. I've had run-ins with feds in the past. Well, I guess the FBI was very cordial as well when I had some talks with them in the past. But overall,
fuck does
I was
that
not expecting CBP agents to be cordial. I will say
No?
that. Okay. Now,
All right.
having said that, the entire process is supposed to be intimidating. So it's like suck my cordial or whatever. Okay. I think
What is suck
they
my
were
dick
being cordial
cordial?
because they wanted me to say something that was incriminating and say something
okay.
that was enough to justify
Okay.
further detention from that point on. And let me tell you, they certainly did do that. So he knew exactly.
Oh, okay, Kay. All right. See, I'm from a place where no matter what you say, you're going to jail. So there's no games where I grew up. It's just you're gonna go to jail. You don't get a lawyer. We didn't really get to play games where I was from. It was either you run at the start and you get away, or you get your ass beat and then you get taken to jail. Not always in that order either. Sometimes it was get taken to jail, then get your ass beat. Where I'm from, there wasn't a lot of talking, to be honest with you. Entrapment wasn't really a thing because they didn't need it. No one was coming to get you out.
Exactly who the I was, but he was basically like broaching the conversation in a way where it was like free flowing,
feds to blow you,
where
not a
in the
crime.
process of
We'll
discovery,
get you
he
beaten
was
up, though.
adding on
That has
additional
happened.
talking points. He always made it seem as though he was asking certain things that after discovering in the process of that conversation, he would ask additional questions. So, he's like, oh, what are you doing in Chicago? And I was very revealing. I was like, well, I
Here
was
for a
in France
prostitute.
because I want to take my family out for Mother's Day to France, but I had to come back early from France, even though today is technically Mother's Day, because I have a speaking engagement at University of Chicago. And he was like, oh, what kind of speaking engagement? It's like, I don't know, some like journalism school stuff. And he's like, oh, well, since you mentioned that, he kept saying, oh, well, since you mentioned that, what do you do as a job? And I was like, I'm a Twitch streamer. And he's like, well, since you mentioned that you were a Twitch streamer, what kind of things do you stream about? And at first I was like, do I just tell him?
Okay, see, this is the point where I 100% in trouble because I'd be like, your mom. And this is why I cannot leave the country. I guarantee you. Somebody asked me, what do you stream about? I'm going to drop your mom. And that's the end of it, guys. That's the end of it. There was once when I was like 13 years old, 14 years old. I think I was 14 because I had a high school ID. So I was 14 years old. I was with my best friend. We were heading to 7-Eleven for some hot dogs, okay? Because they were 2 for 99 cents. And that's what my poor ass pretty much grew up off of. Was we get a couple dollars and we go down to the local 7-Eleven in the ghetto right across the street from the Players Club, if you guys know what a Players Club is, okay? So we go to the 7-Eleven right across the street from the Players Club, and we get two hot dogs for $1 with chili and cheese. and we'd walk there. So we had to walk through some pretty shitty neighborhoods to get there. So there's almost always a police presence somewhere in that area. And so, being that my best friend was black, we got pulled over. Well, I don't know. Is that we got stopped, I guess is what you say, because we were in a car, we were walking. And the police officer said, "Do you have ID on you?" And of course I said no. And he said, "Well, you have to have ID on you. It's the law for you to have ID on you." And I said, "All right, okay. I have my high school ID." And he goes, "Okay." And I handed him my high school ID. And he's like, "What grade are you in?" I'm like, "I'm a freshman." He's like, "How do you have a goatee at 14 years old?" And I looked that police officer right in the face, and I was like, "'Cause, sir, I actually went through puberty." And then we got taken home in the back of a police car. So that's just to give you guys an idea. Yeah, I'm not going to make it back. I definitely would be deported. It's not going to go well.
I play video games because I don't think this motherfucker's gonna believe me if I say I just play video games to him, right? So I was just like, yeah, I play video games, but I also do current events sometimes, drama, internet. And he's like, "Oh, do you talk about, since you mentioned that, you talk about the things that you talk about, do you talk about the news?" And I was like, "Yeah, I talk about the news." And he kept saying, "Okay, so when you talk about the news, do you talk about the war?" And I was like, "What do you mean by that?"
In Iraq?
He's like, "Do you talk about Trump?" And that was the first time where I was like, what the is this question? Like, I literally straight up told him, I was like, "Why are you asking me this?" Like, I was like, "What does this have to do with anything?" And it was interesting because the dude asked so many insane questions, none of which is illegal, by the way. I just need you to understand. Nothing I've done online is illegal as of now, if that makes sense. Now, laws may change in the future,
pretty soon,
and they might actually start prosecuting speech, which I do fear is the goal of this administration. But so far, everything I've done is fully protected under the First Amendment. Okay?
For now.
And none of these questions are actually valid questions to ask. But I was entertaining it because, one, I didn't want to present it as being difficult because I didn't want to extend the attention.
Bro.
And two,
that's how you
I actually wanted to see how far I could take it. Maybe it was up of me to do that. Maybe it was not appropriate for me to do that, to play fast and loose with a person that has complete control over my life in that very moment. But I wanted to see like what they were trying to take from this conversation. So, you know, instead of just pleading the fifth as I'm supposed to do in situations like this, I just kept giving him answers. And there were definitely areas where I was very revealing about my position, knowing full well that they know exactly what they're looking for. I saw no reason to hold back on certain.
He's a sex offender with a record. When he moved to Hollywood, he had to go door to door to tell everyone he was a pederast.
That's true. It's true.
So I said, "I don't like Trump." And I was like, "What are you going to do? It's protected by the First Amendment. I don't like Trump." Yes, right? Like, I was like, "I'm not fond of him. I don't like him. He said he was going to end the wars. He hasn't ended the wars.
Oh, nice.
What the f- is up with
Convert
that?" You
the
know?
ICE agents,
and the guy actually was very sympathetic. The agent was very sympathetic. And I don't know if it was like a JCS style interrogation technique to come across as sympathetic to like invoke some kind of positive feelings out of me in an effort to like get me to reveal something maybe that'll trip me up.
Coming from me, that's saying something.
Because he just genuinely was sympathetic and he had the vibes of someone who was like, "I don't know why I'm doing this," right?
Okay, what's with the vibes? Is this, once again, I'm just too old, right, guys? I'm just way too old. I don't know about the vibes. Are the vibes that important? Should I be checking the vibes of the police officers that are currently, you know, I don't know, giving me all 9? If they're giving me all 9 and the vibes are off, is that bad? You guys are going to have to help me out with this because I'm not sure what I'm supposed to do in this situation.
But he was like, "Listen, I'm Iraqi, so I know." And let me tell you, I do think that him being Iraqi played a big role in this because if he wasn't, there was a lot of Redditor ass white boys that are at Customs and Border Patrol at O'Hare Airport. I saw them walk by. There was a dude who looked like he was like 25 max, but he was balding. And I knew immediately if that mother is my agent, I'm screwed. I'm going to CCOT. This dude is going to literally cook me. So I got a little lucky. All right. I will admit. So basically, I think the reason why they sent the Iraqi CBP agent is because they bracket you into different categories.
It's like if you're a girl, you can only get searched by a girl. I get it. Okay. All right. Kind of racist, but that's okay.
For me, they wanted to conduct an investigation about my involvement with Hamas and my involvement with the Houthis.
He has like 1.6
or they
million,
suspected
I think,
my involvement with Hezbollah.
He's got a lot. I tell you, this is
That's
apparently
literally
what I'm
what
supposed
this
to do.
conversation was about. And it's not even a joke. Like
He's
they
got a cool candy
literally
necklace. That's probably what
tried
brings
to
the
get
police to the
something
yard.
out of me that I think they could use to basically detain me permanently, which is insane because there is no direct connection or direct involvement. So we're talking.
Okay, hold on. All right. All right. Hold on. If you get... Is this it? Is this one? Okay, here we go. This is what Hasanabi needed to do. This is what you do. Yes, I understand, and I wish to proceed.
Mark and Craig, Pop Brothers at Law, as promised, how to get pulled over. You're driving along, minding your own business, and suddenly you see those lights come up behind you.
Yep.
And you get a little
Been there.
nervous and shaky. You need to immediately pull over to the right as soon as it is safe and
Not
clear.
normally what I do.
Use your blinker. You don't want to get caught for not using your blinker as well.
gonna be a chase.
Pull over to the side of the road. Turn your engine off and make sure your windows roll down just enough to pass your documents through, license, insurance, and registration. Keep your hands on the steering wheel. Make sure the officer knows where your hands are at all times.
Got it.
And when he comes up on you and asks you anything, that's when you're going to start in with the script. But it's very important that you keep your license, insurance, and registration nearby. We recommend
it.
right up on the visor in the little slot that's there, so you can pull it. He always
I don't
knows
have
where
one
your
of
hands
those.
are. Don't reach for anything, and we will
gonna do
continue
that.
with more info. Mark and Craig, Pop Brothers at Law, part 2 of how to get pulled over. You want to keep your license, insurance, and registration where you can get it easily.
Why is this two
If it's not up
parts?
on your visor, keep it
I
in
didn't
your
know this
wallet
was
or
two
your purse.
parts.
Keep those items in the center console. Take your hands from the steering wheel. Let the officer know, hey, I'm reaching for my ID. It's right over here in my wallet, in my purse. Move slowly, get it, hand it over to him. Most likely he's going to say, do you know why I pulled you over? And what are you going to say?
Why'd you pull me over?
You don't want to admit, I was speeding, I ran a red light. They want to try to trap you into admitting that. Then he's going to start asking questions, and then what do you say?
I'm not discussing my day, sir.
And then when they ask more questions, what do you say?
Am I being detained or am I free to go?
And if detained, what do you say?
I say I invoke the fifth.
And then what do you do?
I shut the fuck up.
Right, you don't tell the cops to shut the fuck up. You shut the fuck up. Stay tuned. We're going to teach you how to get detained, and if detained, and how to get arrested, and the protocol for that in the next tip tomorrow. Tip of the day.
I'm just not sure that Hasanabi watched this video. Could somebody that knows Hasanabi send him this? It feels like he made a lot of mistakes.
Talking. You know, I'm telling him like,
What up,
oh, I'm
Sean?
U Chicago. I'm going to be
JCS is a
speaking there at the
YouTube
journalism
channel.
school.
Okay.
I told him like, you know, I don't like Donald Trump, and I was like, so why are you guys doing this? And he's like, oh, it's just like routine.
Exactly,
It's a
tell
routine
ya.
process. I was like, it doesn't feel too routine. And basically, my big fear from the entire situation was like, if they were to ask
What up,
for my
Tammy?
phone, not that there's anything incriminating on my phone, but I don't want the federal government inside of my phone
I don't want
beyond
the
the
federal government
beyond all
inside
of
of
the
anything.
times where they probably have
Stay
been
away from
engaging
me.
in like warrantless surveillance on my phone or whatever like it's not your business, you know what I mean? It's none of your business. It's a goddamn free country. Like there's privacy.
He's like, look, yes, I do enjoy some BB dub. All right. Yeah, I was looking at that wall waiting for you to interrogate me. And yes, that is what's going to open when you open my phone.
Laws for this country. So for those of you who don't know, by the way, they can't actually unlock your phone, but if you have biometrics on your phone, they could technically use that and put the phone to your face and
no
unlock
shit.
it that way. So just so
good
you
thing I don't
know,
have
they
that
could
shit.
technically do
I don't
that,
have that
okay? They
fucking-
could technically do that.
That's not gonna happen
but
to me,
there's a trick.
bro.
Either you get a burner phone when you're traveling internationally, or if
Burner
you have
phone,
your
probably not a
regular
great
phone,
idea, guys.
you can just do a passcode by either canceling biometrics, or if you forgot to cancel biometrics like your Face ID ID. What you can do is
I don't
click it
have
5
biometrics.
times. If you click hold 5 times in a row, it will actually disable Face ID and it will force you to put your
Okay, do any of you guys have that Face ID thing going on? I don't do that stuff. I'm not trying to have my phone seeing my face and then unlocking and shit. I got a pattern. I don't even have a passcode. You got to know my pattern to open my phone.
passcode in. And because there are laws against
What up,
like the
Diane?
agents not being able to force you to put your passcode
Welcome
in,
to the
they can't actually access your phone
longest
like that.
story
Now, there's
about
different
what
methods
seems to be
of how
nothing
they can
so
access your
far.
phone. From what I
So far, what we've learned in this story from Hasanabi, which I thought was going to be much more interesting, was that if you get pulled into the back by the TSA, the lighting's really bad, the vibes are off. You should pick the lawyer seat so you don't get cucked, and also you establish domination. And then also, if you click your phone 5 times, it doesn't do the face thing. I feel like I've learned a lot from this video, but also at the same time, I'm not sure why. I thought this video was going to be different.
understand, they can also put it on a computer and just like plug it into a machine, and the machine just basically takes all of the information in your phone. So it is what it
Yeah, I
is.
know he's
I don't
Jenks'
know if you
nephew.
can
I
actually
knew
do
that.
that if
It
your
took
phone
me a
is
long
on.
time to find
but
that out.
I was thinking about all these things. I had already
croissants
unlocked the
are stale.
biometrics, like I disallowed
just watched,
biometrics, and it's a
I just watched All Quiet on the Western Front. The croissants are stale. Are these croissants stale? Yes. Okay. Yeah, England keeps trying to make... No, you declared war on me, brother. We're going till the end, England. Okay? I'm establishing domination.
the Faraday cage once you get into the detention center
Criminal
anyway, so you
psychology
can't actually
channel.
send
Okay,
any
maybe that sounds
text
interesting.
messages once you're in there. There's no access to the internet. I'm sitting there and they're asking me about Trump. They're asking me about like Hamas, and he kept saying stuff like, do you like Hamas? Like, do you support
Maybe he got it wrong. Maybe the guy was asking if he likes hummus. I mean, that would be racist, but this is Trump's America, okay? Or maybe he was offering him a snack. Maybe he was like, would you like some hummus? The vibes were off. The lighting was bad. He's sitting in the fucking lawyer's chair. Maybe the dude was just asking if he wanted some hummus, okay? It's a possibility. At least he wasn't being cucked. All right, guys? That could have been happening.
Hamas? Do you think Hamas is a resistance group? Do you think Hamas is a terrorist
definitely
group
wasn't
or a
offering him
resistance
hummus.
group? Like,
Okay.
he just kept asking over and over again, right? And I kept repeating the same statement over and over again.
plead the
I kept
fifth.
saying a couple different things. One, in terms of
Nope.
like Israel and all the wars,
I
I was like,
plead the
I'm
fifth.
on the side of civilians. I want the endless bloodshed to end. I am a pacifist. I want wars to end. I just kept repeating that over and over again. Every single time he asked me a question, I just kept repeating that. And every single
Should've
time he
just
asked
pled
me
the
a
fifth.
question, a leading question about Hamas, I kept saying
Good
the
job,
United
Jay.
States State
It's the only way
Department
to go.
recognizes Hamas as a terrorist
Chickpeas are
organization.
gross.
The United States State Department recognizes Hamas as a terrorist organization. So he just kept asking me over and over again, like, Hamas,
I mean, he could have asked you if you were a member of Hamas. That would have been racist.
Houthis, all the trying to be like, oh, do you support them? Do you like them? Like, what do you think about them? Which I thought was insane, because the reality of the matter is, up until this
Bro, you live in America. You think that's insane? My dude, have you never encountered racism? I'm gonna guess he has. His name's Hassan, right? I mean, he is white enough looking, and he does have a candy necklace on. The candy necklace does scream, I'm a white dude from California. All right? So, I mean, maybe that's a good distraction, and he's never had to deal with it. But let's not act like this hasn't been happening to, like, black and Latino Americans for the last, like, 70 years. Or longer. I mean, this doesn't even sound that bad. This is Trump's America, dog. That Irish lady had like a fucking drug charge from 20 years ago that was wiped clean, and she was detained for like 30 days. I'm failing to see where this is. Where is the Where's the drama? Maybe, okay, all right, guys. We haven't given him enough time. Let's give him a chance.
This very moment, if you were to say, as an American citizen, you stand 10 toes down with Hamas, or you stand 10 toes down with the Houthis, or whatever,
decided that.
They can't deny you entry into the country for that. But I don't know what the they're trying to do. So I was like, I'm not going to go beyond it. I'm not going to go beyond just like reiterating over and over again.
Okay, look, Kay, you know I agree with you, Kay. This is not racism. This is actually an important escalation of fascism. I understand that, and I get that I'm making jokes right now, but you guys should well know that I understand, okay? At the end of the day, all I'm saying is that this shouldn't be crazy. He covers Trump 24/7. He knows what Trump's America has become. When I make jokes about leaving the country, I'm not actually fucking joking. All right, guys? I'm not. Like, I am 100% concerned that if I took a trip outside the country and they got a hold of my phone, they could figure out a fucking reason to deport me. I'm not joking at all. I mean, I think it's funny, but in a really fucked up way. Yeah, I would laugh at myself being deported. Believe me, I'm the guy that goes, "Are you guys deporting me?" And they're like, "Are you laughing?" They're like, "I can't fucking believe this is happening." You know how many times they've joked about this on stream? Like, they'd be like, "Yeah, we're going to send your ass to CCOT." And I'm like, holy shit, my subscriber's going to lose it. They would be freaked out. I'm going to tell you this right now. As they're like, "Put your head down." I'm like, I can't stop laughing. You guys have no idea how weird this is. So yeah, I laugh in the face of fascism. That doesn't mean I don't take it seriously, Kay. I want you to understand that. I'm just saying, first of all, I would not have done a good job, as Hasanabi has done here. Thus the reason I shouldn't leave the country. Second, I just don't think that it should be all that surprising that this guy's asking him these questions in Trump's America. I mean, sure, we make jokes about it, but we all know it's fucking true. We all know that we have entered the fucking Twilight Zone. We have entered a time in our country that has not ever been seen before. A time where Americans potentially can get deported. Children of Americans, or American children, have been deported. This shouldn't really come as a surprise to anybody at this point. I couldn't stop.
Again, the American government's position is that Hamas is a terrorist organization.
Like, "Get this
but then he just kept asking me about the Houthis. He's like, "Well, do you agree with the terrorist designation for the Houthis?"
If I say
and I said, "I'm of the Brookings Institute mindset that in 2020, when Donald Trump initially designated the Houthis as a terror organization, that was a major mistake. I talk about these issues from an academic." What do
you guys think? What if I just made the joke? What if they said, like, "Are you a supporter of Hamas?" And I was like, "I love Sabra, bro." Like, I mean, I prefer like the Israeli hummus myself. It's got a little more taste to it, more flavor. What do you guys think? Do you think I'm getting let in the country? Probably not. Probably not. I'm probably getting tackled.
Context with humanitarian rights organizations and with academics and with journalists. As a matter of fact,
Dan.
This is completely protected under First Amendment laws, and therefore, I don't understand what the reason why we're having this conversation is. And I kept saying that over and over again. At which point he just like kind of gave up. But what I thought was really interesting was, and I even followed it up with like I said, I call balls and strikes. And there are things that Trump has done that I actually agree with. And I'm not shy about saying those things, even though initially he said he was going to end all these wars. He hasn't done so. I think these wars are unnecessary. They're costly.
I like that he knows enough about Trump and Trump supporters that he knows the correct tack to take. He doesn't say, "Fuck Trump." He doesn't say he thinks he's a racist. He doesn't say he's a fascist. Instead, he says, "I just want all these wars to end, man. Just like Trump said he was going to do, man. He said on day one he was going to end the wars, and you know what? I disagree with that." Now, mind you, anybody has probably watched this stuff, and I don't watch enough of his stuff to know, but I'm going to guess Hassan Piker has said some mean things about the orange clown. And I guarantee you that if it's me in that badly vibed, not well lit cuck chair, they're going to take a look at one of my videos, and I am Dunsky.
And a lot of civilians die in the process. I don't think it's appropriate. I think it's very inappropriate.
Yeah, David Packman said as well, you told him not to leave the country.
End, right?
Yeah.
Like that's my position.
Sorry, Jeremy.
But I do think that Trump did a good thing where he implemented a ceasefire with the Houthis. So when
he dropped it. You know, Trump did do some good things, brother. That's a good call, actually. Solid strategy. I'm going to be honest with you. Obviously, Hasanabi, he had the playbook. He did very well. I would not have performed this well. I would not have been let in the country.
he does stuff like that, when I agree with him, I tell him what's what. When I agree with Trump in a decision, I'm open about it, right?
Dan.
So
I'm done.
I explained that to him, and I just yapped away
the
over and
letters
over and
NLR
over again.
too many times.
And what I found to be particularly interesting was in the first half of the conversation, it was just like basically a fact-finding mission, right? Try to get me to say something that I think would be of interest. In the second part of the conversation, there were some real actionable items that he presented that depending on how I answer those questions, like I'm going to jail. Because the first stuff was just illegal for him to ask me those questions and completely idiotic and ridiculous. And I think they did it because they know who the fuck I am and they wanted to put the fear of God into me, not knowing that I'm a stubborn piece of and, you know, that's not going to work at all, right? The second half of the conversation was actually like, because he left, went away for like 35.
Guruku, I cannot get behind that enough. Bald guys with long goatees should definitely be deported from America. There's absolutely no reason for those types of people to be here in America. And I can tell you that they have done nothing but make America worse. Thank you for being over on Twitch. I appreciate you.
35 minutes, came back, and then he asked like actionable items. But one thing that I will take note of that I thought was very interesting was the fact that a lot of the that like the Ethan Kleins of the world have like cried about over and over again were unironically brought up.
No, he doesn't like Ethan Klein. Okay. See, I know that much. That's right. You guys thought I didn't know anything about streamers. I know that Hasanabi and Destiny don't get along, and I know that Hasanabi and Ethan Klein don't get along. That's right. Fucking, yeah. You guys thought I didn't know anything about big streamers. Yeah, take that.
Up in that conversation. And I was shocked. Okay, not like the bleach sword, obviously, but like the Houthi. Like, did you interview a Houthi? It says here that you interviewed a Houthi, and I was like, or was he actually a Houthi? Now,
those are words I would never get asked in my life. If you,
lady, I got buddies who died face down in the muck so that you and I could enjoy this family restaurant.
All right? My buddies didn't die face down in the muck so you could interview a Houthi pirate. All right? I personally have never been asked, you know, whether or not I've interviewed a Houthi before. That would be kind of Twilight Zone for me. If somebody was like, did you not at one point or another interview a Houthi pirate? I'd be like, this is weird for me to say, but no. Why do you ask? Did he actually interview a Houthi pirate?
a Houthi. It says here that you interviewed a Houthi. And I was like, or was he actually a Houthi? And I was like,
was he actually a... Okay.
He's not. You can look to all of the reporting that came out afterwards.
He's like... At the time, I thought he was. But it turns out he wasn't. So, wow!
And before I interviewed him, that he's not a Houthi, that he is a regular Yemeni citizen. And I said, like, his name is Rashid al-Haddad. He is not even a Shia. And the dude, luckily, again, Iraqi, went, oh, yeah, that's right. That's a Sunni last name. Al-Haddad is a Sunni last name. So,
oh, thank God he didn't get the bald white dude with the long goatee as a TSA agent, because let me tell you this, they're all the same, brother.
Oh, he must not have been a Houthi. And the very fact that that was like a point of contention that could have gotten me arrested is insane.
Nice.
And I genuinely, in that moment, was thinking like, these dumbass slop tubers are actually playing with fire. And I even thought about not even mentioning
The whole world gone crazy! Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
It's true.
this.
Wait, am I a slop tuber, guys? Hold on. Did he just call me a slop tuber? Am I a slop tuber, guys?
Right, that's a Sunni last name. Al-Haddad is a Sunni last name. So he must not have been a Houthi. And the very fact that that was like a point of contention that could have gotten me arrested is insane. And I genuinely, in that moment, was thinking like, these dumbass slop tubers are actually playing with fire. And I even thought...
Okay, I don't know what a slop tuber is. And I probably should not put this in my... What's a slop tuber? Oh, dude, what's gonna happen here? When a YouTuber... Okay, we'll go to Urban Dictionary. Because I was a little concerned with what was gonna pop up. When a YouTuber transforms their content into something significantly less entertaining than their older videos, usually comes with an appearance change such as obnoxious hair dye as well. Man, Timmy Gaming HD used to be funny back in the day. Now he just posts 8-minute long TikTok reaction videos twice a week. He became a slop tuber. Ah, fuck. I think I am a slop tuber. Ah, shit. Wake up, babe. New insult just dropped. I can't wait to see Hasanabi react to my reaction of his video and be like, this guy's a fucking slop tuber. Look at this old man. This old fucking ginger. What a slop tuber.
Thought about not even mentioning this because I was like, I don't want to give him any sort of like power over the situation. But like the reality of the matter is 100% the Trump administration is inadvertently working with a lot of these dip are playing a formative role in getting people in trouble with the law. Okay, that is literally the case. It was shocking that that was the case, but it is the case. And it's actually very frustrating that it is the case.
Wait, is he insinuating that YouTube people got him in trouble? That is taking YouTube beef to a whole new level, guys. If you take YouTube beef to the level of getting your YouTube nemesis deported, I don't know if I can stand with that, guys. That's not real. That's not healthy. You guys, I think that you know what I think? Is he saying Ethan Klein? Is he saying that guy is a slop tuber? Or is he saying Destiny? I think he's just talking about Ethan Klein, right? I think that maybe they should get marriage counseling. That's going to... Look, guys. This is my advice. Free of charge. Free of charge, guys. I think they should get marriage counseling. It worked for me. It worked for me. And at no point up to this day has my wife tried to get me deported, nor has she accused me of interviewing a Houthi pirate. Okay? Hasn't happened. I can tell you marriage counseling works, guys. It works.
This administration doesn't care. That's why they work with Beitar. That's why they work with all these other...
Okay, you didn't have to go there, bro. Fucking don't be an ableist. God.
Insane groups. Jesus. The Barry Weisses of the world actually have motion in this goddamn
Barry
admin.
Weiss.
They're cheering this on over at ESUB. Yeah, I know. They can suck my liberals, by the way. One of the largest progressive voices in the country getting detained by the Trump Gestapo. Like, what a wonderful progressive audience they have over there. Anyway, they're straight up fascist at this point. So my point is, it's...
Holy shit, the YouTube life is wild. They're swatting each other? What the fuck? These young men need a father figure. I think I could be that. I feel like, I mean, how old is Hassan? I'm gonna guess he's a young looking dude. It might just be the glasses, or it could be the puka shell necklace. But I'm gonna guess he's 32. We're gonna go 32. Maybe 29? 29. We're going to go 29. 29 years old. I could be his father. I mean, in my neighborhood, I could be his father. Like, I feel like these younger YouTube content creators need better father figures. I feel like I could be that. I could make that happen. I could also introduce them to a good marriage counselor.
It's crazy that like these were actual questions. Like they asked me about my Twitch
Poopy is a
bans,
derogatory
okay,
label.
and I talked about
Okay,
blowback.
I don't
I
know
talked
that.
about
I'm
how
gonna be honest
I
with
said America deserved
They all
9/11
need some
and it was
sunlight.
misconstrued. I do have sometimes I use hyperbolic language and it gets taken out of context or whatever. And he agreed with the blowback sentiment in terms of like the 9/11 stuff. Yeah, they asked me about my Twitch bans, chat. It's not even a joke. They asked me about.
Dude, did I get that, Kimberly? I got that? I got a 32? Bam! I am so good at this game. I didn't know we were playing a game, but I did get that answer right. Damn, I'm so fucking good. God, I mean, it's kind of weird, to be honest with you. Slightly gay, but I've said it before. Every once in a while that happens. Every once in a while, even as a heterosexual male, you're like, that was a little gay. Gotta admit, was kind of gay. All right? It happens, It's how you explore your sexuality, boys. Shouldn't say boys. Okay, hold on. I gotta distract.
I love Tesla.
It's like legalized comedy.
You know what I'm saying? Oh, fuck. I'm digging a hole right now. I never react to other streamers. This is a bad idea, guys. This is a bad idea. I mean, I do react to other streamers, but in a more kosher way. I feel like he's fierce in his progressive beliefs and makes no apologies. So he's probably, are we putting him on like Kyle Kalinske level of progressiveness? Right? Like that's, like Humanist Report. Those are the two people I know that are like the most progressive people that I watch. Kyle Kalinske, the Humanist Report. That is like, those guys make me look not progressive. Like, I'm a very progressive person in my opinion, but then when I watch those guys' videos, I'm like, damn, wow, you guys that's strong. You guys are good. All right. Just gonna sit in the back, watch the pros do it. Is that what we're putting him on? His uncle is Jane from TYT, but that doesn't make him very progressive. I mean, right? I love Tesla.
I love Tesla.
You think he's akin to Uncle Kyle as far as politics? Not akin to Uncle Jenk though. So how is he? He is 57 and denial. AJ, damn. AJ says he's 57. Oh shit, son. Or shit, dude, man, guy, old man. Unknown. We're not talking about that anymore. We're past that, okay?
And then I said, supposing you brought the light inside the body, which you can do either through the skin or in some other way.
In some other way. All 9. That's all I'm saying. All 9. I haven't had time to make any more, guys. I haven't had any more time to make any more. So,
I'll take it away from you and stick it up your ass and pull the fucking trigger till it goes click.
That's what I would have said to the FBI. That's what I would have said. Okay, don't get this. This is recorded? Oh, we're in trouble. Okay, we're in trouble. Or maybe I would have dropped this on him. I would have dropped this on him.
Well, that's just like your opinion, man.
Okay. Yeah. All right. I also would have dropped this one on him.
I got buddies who died face down in the muck so that you and I could enjoy this family restaurant.
Yeah. That's what I would have dropped on him. And when they asked me about Trump, I would have been like,
No. He's a sex offender with a record. When he moved to Hollywood, he had to go door to door to tell everyone he was a pederast.
Yep. There we go. That's why I would have got deported. Like right away, guys. Right away. Back to Hassan. Sorry, Hassan.
Twitch, they asked me,
I don't even remember
he
where
agreed
we're
with the blowback sentiment in terms of like the 9/11 stuff.
Oh, yeah,
they asked me
Klein
about my Twitch bans, chat. It's not even a joke. They asked.
Hold on. That is pretty fucking weird. When the fucking TSA asks you about your Twitch ban, I mean, maybe if you're Dr. Disrespect. You should probably ask Dr. Disrespect at the border about his Twitch ban.
Asked me about Twitch bans. The other Twitch ban he asked me about was the last one that I got banned, and I explained to him, like, this is, man, you really talk way too much. Lawyer will be pretty upset at you. Dude, what are you talking about? I know that under normal circumstances, I'm supposed to say, I want a lawyer. I don't want to talk to you.
Yeah, why wouldn't you ask for a
nothing
lawyer?
I'm doing is illegal, and I also wanted to see what would happen. Do you understand? I wanted to see what would happen. I wanted to actually see this experience, which is why instead of immediately lawyering up, I was like, no, I'm gonna entertain this. I'm gonna see what they actually are trying to get out of this. And I'm glad I did this, because the reality of the matter is, one, I'm profoundly privileged. Okay, remember, I'm a public person, and also I have enough money to be able to fight back against this sort of thing, and they know who the I am.
Oh, okay. Sorry. All right, I get it now. Kay and Redunk are fixing this for me. It wasn't a TSA agent. He's talking to the CBP, to Border Patrol. Okay. It's because he's brown. I get it. I got it. Hassan is more to the left than Kyle and very aggressive about it. Damn, Kyle's pretty far to the left. That is, how much further can you go to the left than Kyle? Oh, I guess I have learned that there is further. I have been called out just a couple times by certain people that were like, yeah, you can fucking die. And I was like, wow. Okay.
So obviously, the reason for why they're doing that is, I think, to try to create an environment of fear, to try to get people like myself,
100%.
or at least like others that would
like
be in my shoes that don't have that same level of security, to shut the fuck up.
Left.
And for me, I'm going to use the privilege that I have in that moment to try and see what the they're doing, okay? Because every single thing that they ask me, trying to get me to say something like, oh, I support Hamas or whatever, is literally not allowed. Like, what the do you mean? Like, why is this denying me entry into the country of my birth? Like, this is my birthright.
What's the chance that Hassan is like the first actual like grown adult U.S. citizen? Wait. So Jank was born in Turkey, right? Wasn't Hassan born in Turkey? Am I wrong about that, or did he grow up in Turkey or something like that? I need to like actually like do some research on other streamers. I'm not very good at this. I'm bad at my job.
I'm an American citizen. You can't just stop me at the border and be like, "What's your opinion on Donald Trump?" You're not allowed to enter the nation. Like that was the first half. Like I said, they asked about the Twitch bans. They asked about like the Rick Scott statement, and I was like, listen, I laughed. I was like, I'm not
didn't he say something
calling
bad about
for the
Rick
assassination
Scott?
of a sitting senator to be insane, but instead I explained to him, like, I was talking about the hypocrisy of the Republicans, blah blah blah. I explained away all that shit, and he was understanding. Then he went back and he came back, and the actionable items that came up afterwards was basically asking me about if I had ever been in contact with Hamas, if I'd ever been in contact with the Houthis directly.
Like, are we friends on Instagram? Does Hamas have an Instagram, or perhaps an X account? I bet Hamas has an X account. That's not even a fucking joke. I bet they do.
Or indirectly, if I'd ever actually been in contact with Hezbollah, if I'd actually ever offered financial support or logistics or any kind of support to Hamas, Hezbollah, or Houthis. They straight up asked me that. And I laughed. I said, no, of course not. But yeah, that was... Once again, these are questions that they're asking. But one thing that I thought was really interesting was in the actionable side of things, they also asked, have you ever interviewed a member of Hamas? Have you ever had a communication or correspondence with a member of Hamas, Hezbollah, or the Houthis? Now, what's really insane about that is that as someone who works in media...
No. Hold on. AJ.
It's
pederast, sometimes not pederast. So here you go. It's PEDERAST. Pederast. The term pederastic is an adjective that describes something related to pederasty. Pederasty is a term with a complex history and meaning. It refers to sexual relationships between those two people and it was socially acknowledged practice in ancient Greece and Rome and elsewhere. However, it's crucial to distinguish this historical practice, that sounds just like the AI is. AI, what? What are you talking about, AI? That's literally the same shit. Just because it happened in ancient Greece doesn't make it okay, AI. All right? It's pederast, not pederast. It's different, AJ. It's different. It's different, okay? Yeah.
No. He's a sex offender with a record. When he moved to Hollywood, he had to go door to door to tell everyone he was a pederast.
It's very important to know the difference.
I do actually do journalism, right? As I've maintained this position over and over again. And I said that I would have given the opportunity to talk to someone that is a part of the Ansar Allah movement, a Houthi, or even Hamas, or even Hezbollah, right?
Okay.
I think that I have the right
Kimberly,
to do
you
so.
are helping me
so
out here.
That is the part where they were like, if you answer yes to any of that, that's when, there's...
Dude, unknown. We're past that. Unknown says, I don't think enough people recognize the dangers of these social media companies having your info and selling it to the highest bidder. Everything you do is recorded. Everything. Dude, Palantir is like the Cambridge shit on crack, right? Like, Palantir, their whole fucking job is data mining. Well, not their whole job. They also do some shit for Wendy's. Data mining people's personal information, and now they sell it to the government. Like I said, this is the insanity of all the Trump supporters that would just like legit send me just shit over and over again about how much they hate the government spying on people, how much they hate BlackRock, how much they hate all of this corporate cronyism and blah, all this shit. Like the people that were in Saudi Arabia with Trump just now, Palantir, BlackRock. Like, you can't make this shit up, dude. Like, it's fucking mind-bendingly insane. How many people now are just, like, disavowing the fact that 2 months ago they were claiming that BlackRock was the devil. They were claiming that the government watching you and stealing your information was the devil. And they're like, Trump's good. Well, he's literally working with Palantir to steal your information and sell it to the government. No, it's Palantir's good now. BlackRock's actually good now. I told you, I don't want to do politics today because it's like fucking... I can't... It's fucking exhausting. It's exhausting keeping up with the dumbassery. All these people... They're just like, no, up is down and left is right, bro. And it always has been. I didn't say BlackRock was bad. I've always liked BlackRock. I didn't say the government stealing your information was bad. Fuck Edward Snowden. Like, I have the messages, the emails. If I could learn how to show this to people, I would.
There's like actually illegal stuff in there. Having said that, there is one part of it that wasn't illegal, which is being in communications or being in contact with someone in Hamas.
You need to be
like
my
that
muse,
is a part of journalism
I need
you
that help.
actually
I need,
can do.
like, my
It's
wisdom.
ridiculous. Like, you can interview ISIS. Like, what are we talking about? The notion that this would be an issue for the Customs and Border Patrol is ridiculous.
Oh, okay. Thank you,
I mean, Donald Trump is in contact with Hamas. He had a envoy.
Sweet burn, Hassan. Sweet burn. That's what you should have said. Oh, you should have dropped that one on him. I'm not in contact with Hamas, but you know who is? Donald J. Trump. Bam!
Directly talked to Hamas a couple months prior. He's in direct contact with the Houthis. Like, what are you talking about? And so is DropSite. Like, the idea that this will deny you entry into the country is...
Wait, read on. Show me the proof of Palantir working with Biden. I don't believe that that's true. I don't believe Palantir. Now, I bet I could find something to do with BlackRock. Was Palantir... Hold on. Let's just do it. Why am I asking you for it? Did Palantir work with Biden's government? I bet they probably did. I'd imagine they did. Yes, Palantir Technologies has worked with Biden administration. Here's a breakdown of their work. Immigration enforcement, Palantir. Now, this is the AI, of course. We need to actually look to make sure, but it's probably right. Immigration enforcement, Palantir has a long-standing relationship with immigration and customs enforcement, which continued during the Biden administration. Notably, Palantir received a $30 million contract in mid-April 2025 from ICE to build... That's not with Biden, though. 2025 is from Trump. Palantir joined the Biden administration voluntarily. Commitments on artificial intelligence in September 2023 seeks to expand efforts to shape the development and use of AI technology. Yeah, I remember hearing about the AI thing. I don't know. I don't think I remembered hearing about Palantir, though. Palantir software was used by the federal government as early as 2010 to fight fraud in the stimulus package. Then Vice President Joe Biden credited Palantir. See, now that doesn't surprise me, because I know that they worked with Obama, as I pointed out before. Biden credited his success to the software Palantir being deployed by the federal government. He announced that the capability will be deployed. Yeah, so they were using them to supposedly suss out any, because that's what they, right? That's one of the things Palantir claims to do, is that they stop fraud. Like, that's one of the things that they claim to do as well, while they're data mining your shit. I'm just saying they didn't stop working. Yeah, well, it looks like they also worked with it. Palantir is involved since Obama. Yeah, that I knew. But I wasn't sure how they had worked with Biden. But my point being, though, Redonk, my point being is that when Biden was in office and people were asking me if I supported BlackRock, I said no. Why? Because BlackRock was buying up huge swaths of businesses. The idea that, or not businesses, sorry, houses. The idea that, what is it, Terminus, Vanguard, and BlackRock own like 90% of like all the wealth or whatever. It's like the fucking... Those three companies pretty much own America, is bad. And you're not going to change my mind by telling me that they worked with Biden, right? You're not going to change my mind by telling me that they work with Obama. I'm not going to be like, oh, they were working with Obama, so that was okay. Or, oh, they were working with Biden, so that was okay. My point is that every fucking one of these Trump supporters said BlackRock was bad, said Palantir was bad, and are not at all unhappy with the fact that the guy that they claimed was different than Biden, different than Obama, different than any president that has ever came before. He's anti-establishment, anti-corporation, anti-corruption, bro. He's going to drain the swamp. Is literally fucking working with BlackRock and Palantir. The people they claimed are the most fucking corrupt people on the planet, and we agreed on that. That's all I'm saying. Sorry, I lost it just for a second. It's fucking mind-bending. It's mind-bending that these people are accepting
like,
this
what
now.
are we talking about? What do you mean? Like, what kind of insane double standard is there? Right? So that part was frustrating.
They indicted her, huh?
The interview, interrogation, whatever you want to call it, that basically ended with me asking, like, so what is the purpose of this? Like, am I being detained? And because I was like, you know that I'm going to talk about this.
Yeah, I don't think it's
and I was like, a lot of people have talked about this like detainment structure. And he was like, yeah, people really exaggerate how these things go. And I was like, well, it is not a great situation to be in, you know? Like, what do you mean? And yeah, he was like, yeah, there's been a lot of reporting on, the conditions and situations like this in detainment, but you're not technically detained. I was like, so I can leave? Like, I asked him, like, am I detained? And he's
okay. How much longer is this? This is 11 more minutes. Okay, let's watch Candace Owens talk about space being fake. Sorry, Hassan. I know this is probably the best part, but you took 28 minutes to get to it, dog. Look, at the end of the day, it's bad. It's bad for Trump to be detaining all these people at the border, period, that are U.S. citizens or here legally on visas and deporting them. And it is fucking scary that people are getting stopped for having their political beliefs be different. Because once again, like I said, more fucking hypocrisy from the Trump crowd. You can't stop with the hypocrisy from the Trump crowd. It's every day, all day, never fucking stops. The very people that claim free speech, brother, free speech, the Facebook made the Bidens have to stop. The Bidens made the Facebook stop telling the truth about Trump and COVID. All the COVID vaccines, they did bad things to people. Y'all all gonna die soon. All that shit, okay? All of those people are completely okay with people being detained at the border for shit they said on Facebook. They're fucking hypocrites. It's never going to be the same in this country because broken ass, mentally fucked up people that couldn't deal with a small amount of fucking adversity are never coming back. They've joined a cult. They don't care whether a cult leader does shit that is absolutely the fucking exact opposite of every single fucking thing that they said. He didn't stop the war in Ukraine. He is going to fucking send people into Gaza. He fucking literally demolished the place and continues to fund it. He's not anti-war. He's damn near on the fucking doorstep of starting a fight with fucking Iran right fucking now. He's tariffed the shit out of everybody in the world, causing grocery prices to go up. Like, the man's a hypocrite. And if you can't admit that the shit that he's doing now is hypocritical, then you're in a fucking cult. All right, let's watch Candace Owens talk about fucking space being fake and gay. Because I didn't want to talk about politics today. I was trying not to talk about politics today. Hold on. God damn it. I'm pushing all the buttons. Hey, love your stream. Would be awesome to play sometime. What's your schedule like? I don't have a schedule. Here's my Discord. Look, Brian. I don't. Yeah, that's not happening. I don't click link stock. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, sometime, bud. Hey guys, remember when Citrix and BlackRock made the call to shut down the stock market? Was that the day that they stopped Robinhood? Is that what you're talking about, Redonk? Was that the day they stopped Robinhood? By the way, I bought Micron, I bought Nvidia. I've done well off of that. I'm no bajillionaire, but I did make some money off of Nvidia and Micron. That was good. That was a good call on my part. I wish I would have bought Palantir, but for the ethical reasons of not supporting Palantir, I indeed did not buy Palantir at $90, which it went to like $130. For ethical reasons, I stood 10 toes down, did not buy Palantir. Should have done it. Yeah, they stopped all the traders, including E-Trade. Yeah, I remember that. Redonk. I remember that shit. Pepperidge Farm remembers. Yeah. God, that's, I could have bought Doge at fucking like 0.001 or whatever the fuck it was. I tried to buy like 10,000 Doge before it went to like $1 or 70 cents. I think it went to 70 cents. I would have made like $7,000 off that. I fucking hate those people. Hate them. You got AMC that day? Yeah, that's a good call. The days of the meme stocks. Gas jumped up about 50 cents a gallon where you live. Yeah, so all those numbers just came out. Today, okay, so I already called this. I said that egg prices would reduce in April. I said that it would be due to people pulling back on demand and due to the calling of the chickens, which all the dumb Trump-tards aren't smart enough to figure out is the reason why egg prices did go down. So egg prices per dozen still double what they were year over year, still incredibly high, still $5 a dozen for a national average. Then gas prices, I believe it was slightly less. So energy overall went up. Energy overall, because natural gas went up by a fuck ton. Electricity continues to go up. Gas declined, but only marginally, much less than it did month before. And so did oil, right? So transportation gases, transportation energy went down slightly. Home electricity, energy, all went up significantly. Once again, Donald Trump didn't do anything about it. He lied to you. He's not doing anything about fixing the energy problem. He doesn't give two shits about the energy problem or you. He doesn't care. He's driving gas prices or oil prices into the toilet, and he thinks that's going to fix energy. That's not how that works. Let's see, what else? Food at home did go down slightly, I think 0.04. Food away from home continues to rise, as it has been since COVID and continues to. Grocery prices as a whole will continue to be probably flat. Inflation is 2.3. Like I said, the scary part is if inflation continues to die below 2%, unemployment goes up a half point. And then, we see all this tariff shit kick in. That's the magic mix. If all that stuff kicks in at the same time, we are in big fucking trouble. We are on the edge of a bubble while Donald Trump is getting given a $400 million plane from Qatar, getting his fucking tower built in Syria, so he's going to take off sanctions on Syria. We're becoming best friends with all the worst nations, with all the worst human rights violations. Meanwhile, all the people that used to like us, that were pretty good countries, I mean, not historically, but nowadays much better people, are not our friends anymore. So even India just dropped tariffs on us. So there goes that. I thought India, potentially, we're going to move into like maybe more of an India-centric trade agreement. And maybe we would move away from China, because I do feel it's important to decouple from China because of the problems with what would happen if Taiwan gets invaded by China. And we're too, tip to tip with China. I think that we should move over towards India, but now India is also tariffing the shit out of us for us tariffing the shit out of them. I wasn't going to cover all this shit. Yeah, energy went up a total of 0.7%. Yep. I do track. Oh, you mean Donald Trump tracks the Egg McMuffin price? Oh, Jesus Christ. Yeah, it's all who has gifts and money for him. Dude, Syria said he could build a tower in Syria, and he's like, sanctions off! Like, you can't make this shit up. It's kind of insane. Like, it really is fucking impossible to wrap your mind around. Like, I can't tell if he's actually fucking insane, which I do believe, because just watching him talk, like, they asked him about Alcatraz, and he was like, it's notorious for what it's notorious for. Like, those are actual signs of dementia. I don't know if people really do know that. I know that we've been saying dementia Biden forever, but forgetting words is literally a sign of dementia. The dude is, in my opinion, legit losing his fucking mind. But also at the same time, it 100% feels like the dude is just like, I don't fucking care. I'm 80 years old. I'm corrupt as fuck. The world will know it. My cult doesn't care. I'm just going to do the most corrupt shit I can possibly do and see how much I can get away with. That literally seems like what's going on right now. It's kind of fucking insane. And the fact that people are like, this guy's dumb. Like, every one of us should be able to say to each other, as middle-class people, upper-middle-class people, impoverished people, that we're in this together, and we should all agree that we should all be taken care of. That America, being resource rich, being the largest consumer market in the world, or the richest consumer market in the world, that we should be benefiting from this. That the middle class, that we should have health benefits, that we should have paid time off, that we should have a 4-day work week, that we should have UBI in the instance that automation comes through and starts taking people's jobs. And yet, somehow, Donald Trump has convinced a bunch of weak-minded, I can't. Weak-minded, blue-collar, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. He's convinced you. I don't want to call you morons. That's what I'm trying not to do. Because what I want to say is weak-minded, blue-collar morons. But I don't want to do that. I just want people to fucking look around at each other and be like, you're in the same shit that I'm in. This sucks for me and it sucks for you too. I want people to look at each other and be like, I fucking want you to have a house. I want you to buy a home. I want people to look at each other and be like, hey, you know what would be dope? is if you felt good about having children in this climate. What I want you to be able to do is look at each other and be like, I'd like you to be able to go to your kid's soccer game and not worry about not being able to pay the rent. I want people to be able to look at each other and be like, I want you to feel good about people not being fucking racist to you or sexist to you. None of these things to me sound that fucking insane. It doesn't sound insane to me. It sounds like something that everybody in our bubble should be looking at each other and going, yeah, I want that for you too, man. I don't give a fuck about your religion. I don't give a shit if you're a Trump supporter. I don't give a shit if you're conservative. I think that you should have health care. I think that you should have a roof over your head. I think you should have food. I think you should have employment. I think you should have time with your children. I think you should be able to take vacations. I think that every one of those things should happen for every fucking American. And possibly, if we're capable of getting everybody on board, everybody in the world. It doesn't sound that fucking insane to me. But somehow, Donald Trump is convinced a fuck ton of people in this society that happen to be blue collar, lower middle class, impoverished people, that he's going to make everything better. And he hasn't done a goddamn thing to prove it. It's fucking Twilight Zone. I don't know. Anyways, it's fucking crazy, man. Speaking of fucking crazy, let's watch a little bit of this. I'm not supposed to be on here for super long tonight. How long have I been on here? Hour 36. Let's watch the first part. Let's let Professor Dave talk about Candace Owens being crazy. All right. Let's watch Professor Dave. Don't forget, okay, guys?
I love Tesla.
All right.
Hey everyone, you've all seen me mock flat earthers more than a few times, but this ridiculous cult has recently gained an unexpected member in the form of Candace Owens. She's really been dazzling the internet with her stupidity lately, so let's check it out.
God,
in case you haven't heard of
Dave.
Candace, she's a conservative political commentator and
invading
total
army is so
nutjob
strong.
whose ridiculous positions go far beyond supporting Trump, lying about vaccines, and whining about Black Lives Matter. After working for conservative
Candace.
propaganda outlets like
Candace.
PragerU and the Daily Wire, she went off on her own and now pumps out high-octane garbage on YouTube. Now, I've actually talked about Candace in passing a few times before. The first
What's up,
time was in my
Tired?
first video about a
Appreciate you,
Piers Morgan
Tired.
segment, which was mainly about Terrence Howard, but also brought up a ridiculous rant from Candace about science being a pagan faith. Let's start things off by
yeah.
examining the 10-month-old video that rant came from so that we can
The
get some
pagan
context.
faith.
And then we will get to a more recent video.
Wait, isn't pagan and faith, isn't that anathema? Aren't those opposites? Can pagans pagan believe in the old god. Sorry, I'm messing it up, right? Atheist is no god, right? Can pagans go to heaven is a good quest. Wait, can pagans wear crosses? Let's see what AI says about that. Yes, many pagans do wear crosses, particularly Celtic crosses, which have a history predating Christianity and were used in pagan sun worship. Okay, I was fucking that up. That's my bad. I was thinking atheists, not pagans.
Where she
My bad.
complains
My bad.
about the You Go Girl Blue Origin flight with Katy Perry and friends. Just so you're aware, this video is called The Shocking Satanic Origins of
read
NASA.
on. I saw
Kind
that.
of
The
sounds
Bridget
exactly
McCrone
like a
stuff.
flat earther, huh? Let's take a look.
Uh-oh, ladies and gentlemen, I am in trouble again. Why am I always in trouble? I'm trending on Twitter for saying something unsayable. Look at this, number one
Mike
trend.
Tesh.
It reads, Candace
100%.
Owens rejects Earth theories, faces backlash. How am I
boy.
ever going to survive this? But also, I have to admit that trend is kind of cool because...
Dude, Candace is like, if you want like a prime example, the perfect example of how to grift off of the right, Candace Owens, fucking, she should give, you know how You know how Andrew Tate had that whole human trafficking website? Allegedly. Allegedly. All right. He definitely did. Candace Owens should do her own style of that, where she teaches people how to grift off the right wing using conspiracy theories. I don't know why these people... Wait, does that already exist, guys? Does it exist? That would explain a lot. Is there a grifter university? Holy fuck, I should start that. That's $1 million idea. God, I should definitely start that.
I love Tesla.
Yeah.
I'm trending under science, and that is a first. It's got me feeling like CO the science
I'm
gal.
such a bad girl. I have to say allegedly after everything.
Christ
Mountain
is
bike.
king.
Christ is king.
You know you've hit rock bottom when your attempt to entertain and persuade people genuinely looks like an episode of Tim and Eric. Her attempt to satirize a popular science communicator involves just saying, Christ is king, and patting herself on the back for no reason. This is the level of intellect we will be dealing with throughout this video.
All right, so whenever I'm trending over something that's just not that big of a deal, I know that there's something the establishment wants to hide. It's called a media overreaction.
Kind of like how conservative pundits never shut the fuck up about trans people? Got it.
Monday, I did this whole long episode about why I am now rejecting the cult of science. So many things that they lied to us about. Vaccines, birth control, people that are being injured, and we just accept everything the experts say.
You uniformly reject everything that experts say. That's how you became this complete joke of a person that denies literally all of science. Stop pretending otherwise.
And we're sacrificing our own bodies. It just feels strange. It feels wrong when you look further in the history.
Oh my God,
they
these
just
people are
keep lying and getting away with it. What I said was that science has become a pagan faith. Yes, that's what I actually believe. And I said if I don't get it from the Bible and I can't observe it with my own eyes, I don't stand it as the truth.
Why are they
What
being
an
targeted?
immaculate display of the mentality of a cult member. Who is they? Every scientist in the entire world? What are they lying about? No concrete examples, of course, and then a remarkable
we're not going to get too
contradiction.
much into the
If
details.
she can't get it from the Bible and can't see it with her own eyes,
'Cause it's a
nothing from
non-politics
the
day,
Bible can
Sean.
be seen with her own eyes, and yet she blindly believes it, while rejecting empirical science that
Hey,
can
Hassan
indeed be
wasn't
seen
nutty.
with her
It was
own
just
eyes. She's
a
just too
strange
lazy
video.
and stupid to look.
I'm starting to see a trend that every time you start talking about the Bible, you start talking about God, you start talking about spiritualism, and recognizing that America and the West is an anomaly, that there are spiritual forces that are working on people at all times, the media panics.
Wait, what? Are there spiritual forces working on me like right now? Like right now?
Because the media, in my view, is a bit satanic.
I think
genuinely
I felt it.
believe
I felt
this.
it, guys.
Religious nut jobs just can't handle the fact that the world is becoming increasingly secular because it reminds them that they are deluding themselves. They need absolutely everyone to believe not just in God and creationism and prophets and miracles, but their specific God and creation myths and prophet and miracles. They pretend that the cold, dark world is intolerant to their bright, shining faith, when in actuality they are intolerant towards anyone that knows how infantile they are. They engage with stories and concepts like literal toddlers who believe in scary boogeymen in the dark and who need an omnipotent daddy figure to take care of them and tell them what to do, and then act offended that the rest of humanity has progressed to at least a kind of adolescence where we are ready to take responsibility for our own actions and learn something concrete about the world around us. They refuse to leave this developmental playpen, and it's pathetic.
The origins of NASA are satanic. And I went, what? What are you talking about? And OMG, you guys, buckle up. What I'm about to tell you.
You know what she reminds me of? Okay, and I know she came before Brett Cooper, but her mannerisms and stuff looks like she copied fucking Ben Shapiro's twin sister. Her mannerisms and the way she talks and stuff, like, because she didn't used to talk like this, right? Like, I don't remember seeing Candace Owens like this on Fox News and shit, right? Is this, I mean, okay, I'll readily admit I don't watch much Candace Owens, okay? So maybe I'm wrong about this. But it looks like she stole Ben Shapiro's twin sister's shtick, dude. I mean, with the fucking laptop, with the pictures. I mean, she doesn't have like the 16-year-old's room behind her. I'm going with you still.
You're not even going to believe me, but you can just research this.
No, I definitely won't believe you because Satan isn't real.
No,
He's
don't
the
die.
boogeyman in the story you believe because you have the intellect of a toddler. An evil force ruining the plan of an omnipotent deity who just can't
She's
get rid of
adapting
his
to
enemy
gain
for
grift
some
market
reason.
share.
Totally
Nice.
believable. Anyway, she now goes on a long rant
Ben
about
Shapiro
Aleister
ruins
Crowley,
everything.
Jack Parsons,
Oh.
satanic rituals,
Mother fatty.
dirty sex stuff, and pretending that NASA exists basically because of these few people alone.
Thanks,
Was
Ross.
an occultist who pledged his allegiance to
In an hour.
demons. He routinely practiced sex rituals. He believed in masochistic and
Wait,
sadistic
have you guys not
sex.
seen Brett Cooper? Is that her name? I'm probably gonna get her name wrong. It's probably not Brett Cooper. Yeah, it is. Boom. Guarantee it's on here. Guarantee it's on here. Here we go. Oh, wait, you guys can't see that. God, how do I make it bigger? Here we go. Can you guys see that? I need a bigger one. Can we just click that? Okay, there we go. Oh my god. They're twinsies, dude. They're twinsies. They're 100% twinsies, guys. Can I should just Google a video with her. She's actually not that bad. She's like, oh, here we go. Oh, perfect. Oh, man. There we go. There we go. Look at that. Oh, that is amazing. Oh, that's a thing of beauty, guys. Oh, my God. Oh, that's amazing. Ben and his female variant. Ben into the Shapiro verse. Oh, man. And Ben has his own X-23. Oh, man. Abby Shapiro in a picture. Ben gaslighting himself into not enjoying the movie. Ben Shapiro. Oh, man. Oh, man. Bring your daughter to work day. Oh, no. Oh, God, that's amazing. That's almost as good as Fit Korean Jesus, dude. Almost as good. Almost. Oh, okay. All right. Back to the video. That's what I'm talking
Believed
about.
in
just so
free
you guys know.
love. And he's the man who made rockets a reality and co-founded the agency's Jet Propulsion Lab. NASA would later consider that
eyebrows are
experiment,
different.
which happened
Barely.
again on Halloween, to be the first rocket experiment.
There's no point in listening to all of this.
Do it, fatty.
It's just the standard propaganda technique of pointing at
burned
one
the Barbie
person
doll,
that will
tell
seem
ya.
unsavory
It's totally
to her
not weird.
demographic and discrediting entire fields of science or institutions by association. John Money bad, therefore blah 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 trans is bad.
Trans
Werner
bad.
von Braun lived in Nazi Germany, so NASA is Nazis.
NASA
Jack Parsons
bad.
was a weirdo, therefore all of NASA is based on Satan stuff. A classic
Satan
tactic.
stuff.
In reality, NASA was
What you guys
founded
doing
in
this week, you Satan
1958
stuff?
primarily in response to the Soviet Union's launch of Sputnik in 1957. Eisenhower didn't want the U.S. to fall behind with regards to space technology
By the
for
way,
reasons
Eisenhower's a
including national
Republican.
security, and he established NASA as a civilian agency rather than a military one, believing it would be more effective for space exploration. Immediately upon forming,
Space
it had
Force.
8,000 employees that it inherited from the National Advisory Committee for Aeronautics. Anyone fixating on one or two people as the basis for the formation of NASA is an idiot.
That reported that he chanted Crowley's
God, I
hymn
love him.
before he lit his rockets. They're just chanting satanic,
I don't
demonic
understand. I
hymns
think you have to say
before they lit
monkeypox in the
these
vagina.
rockets, guys. This
Golf.
is not a
I
joke.
don't
This is not
Ebola
a
the
test.
dick works for her.
This
You have to
is
say
history
monkeypox
that
in
is
the
hiding
vagina.
right under your nose.
Nobody cares, Candace. Nobody cares. If something works in science, it doesn't
Nobody
matter what you
cares,
chant
Candace.
before or after demonstrating it. Whether it's all hail Satan, all hail Jesus, or all hail Tom Cruise. It has no effect on the science, nor does it tie the achievement to any religious group. Rockets work because of science, and there were people all over the world working on rockets. So you can stop pretending that rockets are the product of Satan himself, because again, he's not real, and people who use...
Wait, and why would Satan, like, be so... Why? Why would Satan... Why would he be so pro-rocket? Is he pro-red rocket? Is that what it is? Is it just because they have fire? Why would he be pro-rocket? That's so fucking weird. These people will leave nothing untouched. Everything has to be a conspiracy. Nothing can just be normal.
Rockets today don't care that a few people who worked on rockets in the past were a little weird. Although, honestly, worshipping Satan is not any weirder than worshipping the genocidal asshole god of the Abrahamic religions. Sorry.
And the naked pregnant women that were dancing through fire in the garden. This is totally normal stuff, guys. It's just, coming up with NASA and jet propulsion, you sometimes got to have a naked pregnant woman dancing in the garden through fire.
And sometimes when you're a fundamentalist Christian, you have to lynch black people and bomb abortion clinics, or generally do some of the most heinous things in human history. Apples and oranges, right, Candace?
There you have it, guys. That's the origins of NASA and the program, the jet propulsion program, we're going to make it to space mission.
Oh, because all the conspiracy theorists love Operation Paperclip. That's what it is. Okay, I get the connection. They all love Operation Paperclip, and they love to talk about the NASA scientists that came from the Nazis. The craziest thing to me is that they're not as concerned about what the Japanese scientists did during World War II, which was actually even more horrific than what the Nazi scientists had done. But, the conspiracy theorists they're not quite aware of that. So it's not important to them. It's just the Nazi ones, just those guys. That's it. That's the only ones they care about. It's like, my main problem with human beings, especially human beings that are conspiracy theorists, is you don't need to take it much further than saying that the government are a bunch of assholes for forgiving the crimes of German scientists or Japanese scientists during that time in the hopes of using the knowledge that they gained from doing horrific things to people. It doesn't need to be anything more than that. It's just, that's bad. We shouldn't do things like that. We definitely shouldn't let people get away with the shit that they did because they have some knowledge. That's, morally speaking, I don't mind if it sets us back 50 years. Just being 100% with you. If it sets us back 100 years on moral grounds, not a fan. But also, doesn't need to be a Satanist cult. Ebola of the Red Rocket.
But don't worry. It would be totally crazy for you guys to think that Satan worshippers are still involved in NASA. Obviously, after it got started, they went totally clean. Everything has been above board. Nobody believes in this stuff anymore. And everything's great and everything's normal.
A story about like 3 people is totally the story of all of NASA. And of course, nobody else at NASA today worships Satan, you guys. Don't be silly. I'll just vomit up some sarcasm, implying that everybody at NASA worships Satan and be on my merry way. How dumb do you have to be to fall for this stuff? And what about the dozens of other space agencies in other countries, Candace? They're all devil worshippers too, I bet. Even in this alternate reality where absolutely every last person who's into rocketry is an evil demon, would that somehow make space fake and the Earth flat?
Science has become a bit satanic. They're telling you to do things that are utterly satanic, sacrificing your children.
Wait, what? Did I not get that email? I don't think I got the email about my children.
name of science because it's just a clump of cells. It's getting...
Oh, guys, I was told like 5 years ago that 5 years from then I was going to die because I took the vaccine. That's what I was told. Yet here I am, still the same angry ginger that I've been the whole time. And there they are, crazy as fuck, and nothing like what they used to be 5 years ago. I'd just like to point that out. The same people that 5 years ago were telling you that the vaccines were going to take all these people out and it's shedding, bro. It's going through the air and you fucking people are, you don't even need it. Have you been to the VERS site? Those people are batshit fucking crazy now. And I'm here just going, what the fuck is this fucking timeline that we live in? I think the proof is in the pudding. Or the vaccine. I guess the proof is in the vaccine, I guess. It was in the vaccine. Fuck,
getting
man.
weird out there. And I'm sorry that I notice. That's all I'll say on that topic.
Yes, science is totally asking you to sacrifice your children. That wouldn't actually be your imaginary God who told someone to sacrifice his child and then took it back at the last second, like a fucking sociopath. It wouldn't be you science-denying morons rejecting vaccines that are causing children to die of diseases that we had already essentially eradicated.
Hold on, mountain bike. You say now, they were crazy then. Okay, so this is the basis of my book, and one day I'm going to get to write my book. In fact, we're going to start doing research streams, so you guys better fucking show up for those. All right, where we're going to do research on all this stuff. My theory is that, because I know people that were genuinely pretty good people, that were Bernie supporters, hippies, total people that would show up to gay rights, gay pride parades and stuff like that, that became fucking insane after COVID. And I legit believe that because of the adversity that certain people were unable to deal with during COVID, that they fucking broke. And that's why we're here today where we're at now. Like, I mean, I think that it was a building process for sure. And we can go all the way back to the Red Scare or even before the Red Scare to kind of, figure out where the focal point was, where it began. But I 100% believe that there were people that maybe they weren't the most sane people. Maybe they already had some problems. Maybe they were dealing with some mental issues, whatever it is. But 5 years later, so I have a podcast that I've never released because a friend of mine's wife went full QAnon, right? So she went full QAnon, and I asked him if he'd have a conversation with me, and he was like, yeah, for sure. And it was supposed to be my first podcast ever. And I sat down with him, and we had this great conversation about all these different things that he experienced watching his wife go from this LGBT loving hippie lady to being this QAnon conspiracy theory lady that believed that being gay is a government conspiracy to depopulate the earth. That's what she believes now. And so I was unable to release that episode because he was afraid that she would lawyer up and try to sue him for defamation. So he didn't want to go through the legal battle of it. He said even if he could fight the case, that he didn't want to. He had just got done with the divorce, so he was like, fuck that. I don't want to do this shit again. But he watched a person go from being a person that would 100% hate Donald Trump, fucking hate Donald Trump, enemy number one, would go to gay pride parades, fucking all of that stuff, turn from that person into a person that now thinks Donald Trump is the savior of the universe and has these batshit crazy theories about gay people. I know that it sounds crazy, but I think that certain people broke. I think COVID broke people. I don't think that people came back. It's just like, actually, I mean, I know you're joking, Golf, saying the bad acid thing, but like there used to be a guy in my neighborhood where I grew up that would talk to his hand. His name was Ralph, and he had taken bad acid and he just never came back. Right? I was just talking to a guy the other day who was saying him and his buddy went to a gas station and bought salvia, and they were there with that guy's girlfriend, and they all smoked it. And he said for like a few minutes he was fucking crazy, and he was like, whoa, I never want to do that again. And he said the girl had went into a closet and smoked it, and she started freaking out and screaming and couldn't get out of the closet. Sounds like a problem for many conservative Republican senators. But this wasn't Lindsey Graham. But she couldn't get out of the closet. And he said from that day on, he was like, she was never right. She was always, something was just off about her, that she was fucked up. And I think when certain things happen to the brain, I talk about it a lot with sports, with UFC, with football, CTEs, the same thing, traumatic brain injuries. I do think that, I don't remember if I told you guys this story or not, but I was talking about the traumatic brain injuries, and my boss was talking about how they knew somebody that knew somebody, or they knew somebody, and the guy was the nicest guy, fucking one of the nicest people ever, and he was engaged to get married to one of their friends, and he fell off a deck and hit his head, and he, from that point on, like, he had a concussion and shit, and he was an asshole. He was just like a raging asshole from that point on. And it's like the brain is a fucking very sensitive instrument. And we don't do enough to take care of it. And we poison it all the fucking time. We don't take care of ourselves. We do wacky shit. We put our brain in jeopardy. And then we all wonder why like society is as fucked up as it is. And I believe that it's because mental illness is real. We need better mental health care in America. Trump just defunded that, but we need better. We need to take it more seriously. We need to take traumatic head injuries more seriously. Because I do believe, I believe 5 years ago, certain people that were more sane are way fucking insane now. I think it's crazy. I think some people obviously were insane back then too. But I also think that COVID did break them.
You're a joke. Anyway, we're now going to move on to some more recent comments from Candace, but first, let's pause for a brief message. In this post-truth era...
Believe me, there's a lot of people out there that are like, fuck you think there's something wrong with me? It's like, yeah, I legit do.
It's tough to stay informed. Whatever's going on in science or politics, there are so many narratives being spun. How can you be sure that a particular news source is reliable? For example, we're going to talk about this Blue Origin flight in a moment. How was it covered in the media? You could read 100 sources and compare, but who has time for that? The solution is Ground News. Ground News gathers related articles from all over the internet and provides you with context about each source's political leanings, reliability, and ownership, so that you can quickly get the bigger picture. For the Blue Origin story, Ground News turns up a whopping 560 sources. We get the breakdown of their political leanings. We get a bias distribution. This one seems pretty balanced, though leaning slightly left. Ground News provides some bullet points as a summary, and then we get to the headlines. Each one is accompanied with information about the source, who owns it, a factuality rating, and more. In this case, most of the stories highlight public backlash, priced down to about $5 a month. That's ground.news/PDE, or just scan the QR code on screen and subscribe today. Okay, back to Candace. Now, I did say that I had mentioned Candace several times before, and apart from the Peers segment, we also talked about Candace with regards to the final experiment, where some flat earthers went to Antarctica. Here's a quick refresher.
This guy messages me, and this is what he says. His name is Will Duffy. He said, I heard you recently talking about the flat earth versus the globe debate. I'm a pastor from Colorado, and I've created something called The Final Experiment. It's a trip to Antarctica this December.
Oh, that guy.
And for all. It would be really cool.
That would be
George
amazing.
joined us in Antarctica. But if not, I would be more than happy to come on your show to talk about it.
And I'm very excited to announce that although Candace Owens will not be able to go with us, she is sending her director with us, and she will be reporting on our trip this December through her director, who will be her boots on the ground in Antarctica, reporting back to her whether or not there was a 24-hour sun or if the sun rises and sets each day. Super cool.
If you'll recall, the trip did take place, and everybody in attendance did indeed see the 24-hour sun, including Candace's underling. Presuming she understood perfectly well what the stakes were, we should all assume that Candace now conclusively understands that the Earth is a sphere,
no,
right?
She didn't care about
Okay,
that.
let's move on to a more recent video streamed on April 17th of this year.
In other lady news, we have to speak about this Blue Origin space mission, okay? Because women. Sometimes we can just be such women, you know? It's like we're crying on a bed.
Oh, guys. Oh, I'm appealing to my base so hard right now. Women, you know. Women are crazy, bro. Aren't they crazy? Sometimes as women, we be crazy. Oh, ha, ha.
Her husband goes for a run, and we think he's going to just be taken out in the middle of D.C. by some hogs that don't live in DC, you know? And this is kind of what this mission was, because it was just really annoying in all the ways that I didn't want it to be annoying.
Okay, I have no idea what she's talking about with
Candace
the
Owens
hogs
is
in
annoying
DC,
in all the
but
ways
let's get
that I
something
don't
out
want
of
her
the
to
way
be
right
annoying.
up top.
Just
Was
so
this
you guys
Jeff
know.
Bezos-funded mission silly? Sure.
it's time
Was it a
in
blatantly
Is-
pandering girl power
Israel,
marketing
who am
stunt?
I invading
Yes.
now? Egypt.
Could the tens of millions of dollars spent on this have gone instead to feeding hungry people or something more noble? Obviously. But the backlash is way out of proportion.
100%.
Corporations spend limitless amounts of money on advertising all the time. Why not complain about every single ultra-expensive Super Bowl commercial and ask why that money isn't being used for something better? Why not complain instead about the bottomless pit that is the American defense budget? It's
Yeah.
$1 trillion.
Good call.
I'm not being hyperbolic. It's
What up,
literally
Manny?
$1 trillion. What could we do with that money instead of terrorizing the
Giant
world
dick
with
full of
neoconservative
women.
foreign policy? Let's put the outrage into perspective, people. That money was spent on a little space trip should not really be at the top of our list of concerns,
Yeah, it doesn't
even if
make
we
me
were to
nervous.
limit
I
our
just think it's
concerns
tone
to
deaf.
bad things about Jeff Bezos alone. And while the girl power thing is a little silly, the outrage towards some random women who went to space is 100 times sillier. Some famous women went
Yeah,
up to orbit
it
for a
was-
few
it
minutes
was
as
just
a
out
PR
of
stunt.
touch.
The achievements of
was
astronauts
bad
were
timing.
marginally trivialized. A few young people became a little more interested in space for a second, and we were reminded that commercial space
second.
travel is on the way. It's barely a story.
And they decided to launch 6 well-known women into space. Here's a picture of the ladies
Yeah, I'd say
that are
4.5.
going to space. Looks like it could be the
There's
cover
1.5 of those people I
a
didn't know
Spice
about.
Girls album. I love it. Okay. Who went to space? It was Gail King, former NASA scientist Aisha Bowe, Lauren Sanchez, Jeff Bezos' soon-to-be wife and journalist, research scientist Amanda Nugan, and Katy Perry. So you gotta have a pop
I like
star
that
in
Katy
there.
Perry
Plus
gets
stone
thrown.
producer Carrie
And Katy
Ann Flynn
Perry.
is there. And they promoted this as the first all-women space flight because the only other time that a woman went to space, the first was Soviet Union cosmonaut Valentina Tereshkova. She was the first woman in space. And she made a solo trip back in 1963, and she
That
spent
doesn't sound
3
fun.
days in
Solo
space.
trip
She
does
circled
not
the
sound
Earth
fun.
48 times, and then she landed herself as a feminist icon. Then they just made it super girly. Like, okay, but like, what about the fashion? So Lauren Sanchez got together.
But what about the fashion?
And decided to design the Blue
Oh,
Origin
fuck my
suits in collaboration with Oscar de la Renta because, like, they have money. So they got the creative directors of Oscar de la Renta to design these fantastic suits that were tailored to their bodies because these aren't your regular astronauts. These are hot astronauts. These are babes, okay? When we do science, we make it hot and we make it girly.
Hold on, is this her show? God damn, this is such brain rot. Oh my god. Like, I'm willing to say that the whole thing was out of touch, so I'm willing to, like, fucking hear some criticism of it, but god damn, this shit is brain rot. Who the fuck watches this?
Who cares? Who cares
Astronauts.
about any of this? Some women went to space for a minute. Who cares? They had cool-looking suits. Who cares?
cares?
Some of them are arguably attractive. Who cares? It's
Katy
obnoxious
Perry.
women-hating rants like these, ironically often coming from conservative women, that continually stir this
Jesus
pot
Christ.
and generate more artificially feminist stunts like this for conservatives to complain about. Can we whine about identity
Russians?
politics
Probably
informing the
Russians.
cast of a Star Wars movie? Yeah, to your buddy over a drink one night, I guess. It's not something to broadcast all over the world as though it actually matters. It doesn't.
Oh,
Get a
fuck.
life, Candace.
You ain't wrong.
1, 2, 3, taking up space! Come here.
It's fucking goofy. What am I supposed to say? What am I supposed to say? It's fucking goofy. I don't know. Like I said, is it out of touch? 100%. Am I mad at a bunch of fucking women for like being happy? No, I don't really care about that. Like, that's good for them. Good for them. I'm not gonna be mad about that. I just think it's fucking out of touch.
Tamir's in space.
Congrats to them. I'm actually like fucking jealous. Okay. Congrats to them.
Flynn, I gotcha.
Clamdus.
I gotcha, Flynn.
Oh, no.
Gotcha. Proud of you,
It's like essentially a TikTok party, right? It's like a girly sleepover party. We can come out of this.
See, it just kind of sounds like she's enjoying it. She's trying to hate. Like, I don't think she's 10 toes down. I think she loves the grift. I think she knows, like, she just has to say the same stupid shit. And these fucking, 65-year-old white men that watch her will eat that shit up because they're like, that's right, I know a black person, I watch Candace Owens. Like, come on, dude.
Yeah, it's like a TikTok thing. It was a PR stunt, which you are currently amplifying. Some woo girls did
call.
woo girl stuff in space.
time.
The end.
Woo girls
what would
did
you
woo girl
have done
stuff.
up there, Candace? Would you have recited some epic monologue that poetically puts all of human history into perspective?
Exactly, Pinkerbell.
No, I bet
It's
you would have said or
fucking-
done
it's
something
total
really
pick-me
stupid
shit.
that other people would then make fun of on their podcasts.
I just feel like all of the female astronauts that are going to go up today, it's such a big day in history and it's so empowering, especially my daughter is 7, and just to see something like this.
Let's hate on the
my daughter's
7-year-old?
only 2, and I didn't even share this with her. I feel ashamed of myself.
What the fuck is up with their sense of humor? It's like their sense of humor is also broken. Their brains are broken and their sense of humor is broken. Like, how is that funny? Like, why are we hating on some lady saying her 7-year-old daughter was like, this shit's dope? What the fuck is wrong with these people? Like, you've been victims this whole fucking time. You're constantly sad. You've made $1 billion fucking dollars off the mental illness of MAGA. Why are you hating on this lady saying her 7-year-old was fucking excited? I don't get this shit. What is wrong with these people?
She's so right. I just want my daughter to know that someday you can be launched with your super wealthy friends and you can get a $7,000 bag. You just have to know the right people. And
were
celebrities
there,
will be
Manny.
waiting for you on the ground when you get back. And then we're going to tell people that you made history.
Look, I'm not
Oh, no
against
shit.
poking fun at rich people, but the way Candace does it just irritates me.
That's what I'm saying. This is why I think these people are broken. Because there's so many things that we would agree on. We could talk about the billionaires being out of touch. We could talk about Palantir being bad. We could talk about cool conspiracy theories like whether or not the aliens built the pyramids. Yet we don't get to talk about any of this because these people are fucking mentally broken to the point that if you say, yeah, it would be pretty trippy if the aliens built the pyramids, they're like, would be? Fuck you talking about, brother? They did! Candace Owens told me, she showed us the proof.
What have you
It fucks
done in your
everything
life
up.
that matters, Candace? What kind of a role model are you
It
for
sucks.
women or humans in general? Have you cured any diseases?
the new
Have you
normal.
invented anything incredible? Have you created
I bet she spread a couple diseases. Probably new ones.
inspiring works of art? No, you spread lies to make money on the
Manny,
internet.
no,
the
I
world
would
would be
believe
better
it.
without
I
you.
would believe
if
it.
you want to make fun of Katy Perry or the Kardashians, go right ahead, but you are worse. Anyway, it's time
She
to
is
pivot
worse
from the
than-
dog shit social commentary.
Damn, Dave, wow. Dave hit it on the fucking head. She's worse than the Kardashians. Damn. But he's right. That's a sick burn. Professor Dave, okay.
Terry, to the bona
I see
fide
you.
science denial.
But here's my bone to pick with Matt Walsh. We have a long running beef on the
Oh, dude, who? Okay, solid question. Who would pay $99.99 to watch Candace Owens fight Matt Walsh? By the way, fair fight, okay? Like, I'm going, actually, odds are probably Candace Owens is the favorite. I'm going Candace Owens is the favorite in that, okay? Matt Walsh couldn't beat up like a 4-year-old. Matt Walsh has no chance in a fight with anybody. I mean, like, my wife's Chiweenie dog could probably take Matt Walsh. I'm 100% sure the Chiweenie dog could take Matt Walsh. I'd pay for it.
Topic of NASA and moon landings because he thinks they happened. And listen, when the guys did it, it was fake and gay. I'm sorry, Matt, and it's time for you to admit it. It was just as bad. You just weren't alive for it, okay? Homies were on the moon making phone calls before the time of cell phones, like, hey, what's up, Prez?
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's how I feel, Professor Dave. That's actually how I felt.
That's right. According to Candace, space is fake and gay because astronauts couldn't have called the president from the moon. This is the first talking point she decided to bring up because she's a complete moron. Hey, Candace, it's called a fucking radio signal. Did you know that radio is a thing? And did you know that it's utterly trivial to connect a radio transmission to a telephone line? Even funnier than not knowing how radio works is the implication that NASA is so stupid that they conjured up this idea that there should be a phone call, even though that would tip off the public about the landing being fake.
He's 6 foot tall. He has the reach and weight. I don't know, though, dude. I don't know. I think the Chiweenie still takes him.
Because no can have phone lines on moon. The stupidity is breathtaking.
You must come to terms with the fact that NASA and space missions have always been this fake and gay. You just weren't alive for the original ones, and you need to learn the history of NASA, of the Apollo programs, which were occult and satanic. It was literally meant to be an antichrist movement to make people believe in man.
No, the point of NASA was to build rockets to go to space, which is why they did that a bunch of times. Saying fake and gay over and over again while crapping your pants about fictional characters doesn't change that.
Okay, I can't do it anymore. I have to go eat tacos. I made a mistake. I picked Hasanabi talking about traffic for 20 minutes, and then Candace Owens just fucking making me depressed about the future of humanity. This was not a solid pick. I'm gonna own this one, guys. My bad. My bad, guys. Let me apologize for the videos I picked tonight. I don't know. It was a long day at work, guys. I'm tired. I've been up since fucking like 3 this morning because I couldn't sleep. I'm sorry. I can't do it anymore. I picked the worst videos. I don't know what the fuck I was thinking. This fucking country is faking gay, dude. This country, this is it right here, guys. This is our hope right here.
My first wife was targeted. She's a pilot now.
Where's your tattoo? Why come you don't have a tattoo?
Oh, God. Oh, yeah.
Lady, I got buddies who died face down in the muck so that you and I can enjoy this family restaurant.
I've got this button. Does this work?
What? How? Why? I have so many questions!
Does that work? Did you guys hear anything when it did that? I don't even know what that button works. Oh, fuck. Oh, Christ. Oh, okay. Alright, guys. I gotta go eat tacos. I don't know what I've done to myself. I don't understand what I've done to myself today. Guys, I appreciate you guys so much for being here. We're going to do some research streams so I can work on that goddamn book. I've got 1 chapter written and then like 3 pages. A chapter and 3 pages pretty much written. And that's not very much. It's like 12 pages or something like that total. I don't know. It's like, I don't know how many thousands of words. But we need to work on that, and we need to break up the streams. I don't want to just... if I'm going to be streaming this much, I can't just sit here and look at Trump shit all the time. It drives me nuts. So I want to add some variety to the stream and stuff. So we're going to do some research streams in the upcoming days when I do hop on. We'll still do politics streams, 100%. I'm not going to let you guys down. I'm still going to be vocal. I'm still going to talk. But at the end of the day, I can't watch Trump shit every day. My brain is fucking dying from the stupidity. So I got to do some other stuff too. So just want you guys to know, thank you to everybody that hung out with me tonight. Thank you to the people that joined the Angry Ginger Army. Thank you for the people that donated to chat. I appreciate you guys. I love you guys. I'm going to work on some soundboard stuff pretty soon. We should be back on tomorrow to check out some politics, 5 o'clock Pacific. Yeah. All right, guys. Don't forget.
I love Tesla.
Thanks, guys. Love you guys. Appreciate you guys. Hope to see you tomorrow.